I'm Martin. My role is called Technology Director. It means I'm basically helping to bridge the traditional gap between the business side and the technology perspective. Second to that, I'm also running with my colleague what we call the AI Innovation Hub, which is an organizational part of STAR which centers around everything we do with AI. We are in this kind of a hype cycle where everybody says we need AI. Everybody wants to do something and everybody feels you have to do something. But proving that it's really worth the money and worth the invest is still a challenge. And I think in general, you can separate two perspectives. One is you could try to use AI to make your existing processes more seamless, faster, more lean, which is the more conservative way. And the other approach could be you think AI first. So everything you do, you start based with AI. So it means that traditional things like requirements engineering, figuring out what you want to do, you put this already on AI and see what it comes up with. So I think one thing we still need to figure out is where does it make sense and how can we use it safely and securely to really provide us business value add. What we see at the moment is that AI is basically in its kind of a childhood. It can do many things, but it's not matured enough to be let run alone. And this is one of the biggest challenges. How do you find the balance between relying on an AI without looking into it versus checking every bit and piece it's going to produce? There is an effect on models, machine learning models and large language models. They deteriorate over time. Nobody knows why, but the longer you use them, the worse the performance gets. It's like a human brain getting old. This is one of the major challenges we face. How do you safeguard it? How do you ensure the quality? And what we see also from the pure technology perspective, we are plateauing. The means of improvement of these models is getting significantly slower, and it's still hard to get this quality into it. So we still need humans in the loop. And I foresee this for quite a while. Looking at AI in general, I think there's two things you need to always have in mind. How do you actually get value out of AI? What is really the essence of it that makes you better as a company or as a society? And on the other hand, what are the typical pitfalls you need to have in the back of your mind when you want to leverage this kind of value? You need to be clear about the problem. What do I want to solve? And then usually you should go backwards. Is AI actually a meaningful tool to achieve this goal? And this leads me also to the pitfall. If you believe AI is going to solve any of your problems, you're wrong. It's another tool, maybe the most powerful one we have ever seen, but it's still a tool, and a tool is only as good as the person using it. Enterprises usually have a large amount of data, just by the nature of it. It's a large company, a lot of systems, a lot of people. One current challenge they have is how to use it, how to leverage it. And I'd like to give a brief explanation of a very old-fashioned framework, but I think it still applies in this context. It's the 4 steps of being data-driven. First point is you have to collect data. You have to capture it somehow. Second step is you need to persist it. It sounds quite simple and straightforward, but you still have to do it. Third step is you need to make this data accessible. You need to put it in a place where people can use it. And between 2 and 3, there was this thing of digitalization. If you write something on paper, it cannot be used in a different location. So you have to make it digital. And the last step is using this data to do informed decisions. And I think this step is where AI can help significantly. If you have your data persisted and accessible, AI can help you to get you the overview, access every data source you have in your enterprise by technically connecting to it, by being able to understand and to know where can I find which bit of information and which of these information pieces need to be combined to be a valuable insight for me as a user at this point of time. You as an enterprise need to be ready to feed this data into an AI-based system. So you need to technically enable this, usually you call it a platform, where all of these things go together, that AI has access to it and can use it. AI could be a more universal, more natural way of getting and talking to information. You use your natural language to achieve something. This is a potential game changer. It can not only help to make data information more accessible, it can also help to create it much faster, much more efficiently. This means that everybody can start interacting with data. Before it was limited to specialists. This is another dimension of challenge you face. Once you make AI capable to access all your data you have, it has access to all of your data, meaning that any person using it will see anything. That's usually not what you want as an enterprise. You want to have a separate level of access, control, etc. This is a challenge you also need to build in your AI platform approach to make sure only people who are entitled to see certain bits of information can actually see them. When I think of AI, there is a couple of different ways you could classify it, let's say. There's simple AI, you ask a question, you get an output, like create me an image of a person on a lake. Another category is you give AI a task, saying, I need a trip booked from London to New York. This is a bit more complex or complicated task to be done. And this is usually done by something you would call an agent, an agentic AI. The difference here is that an agent is able to call in other functionalities or, let's say, capabilities from systems rather than itself to solve this task. An agentic system is capable of building a plan. If I need to solve this problem, I might need to do this, and this step in this sequence. One perspective which is quite interesting to look into is if I use an agent to do some business stuff internally, it makes my life easier, but it stays within the enterprise. If I work B2B, so I work with another company, providing services to them, I could use an agent to prepare something I'm then going to provide to my business partner, and then a person is going to process it. But what if I have an agent which talks to another agent from the other company? So basically, I'm moving away certain parts of business communication and even maybe negotiations and agreements from human to human to agent to agent. The experience, however, as a user, as a human user, will be like working with a very well-educated member of your staff. But is it on the same level of trust? That's difficult to assess right now. You cannot be sure that AI always wants to produce the best output. It will produce any output. And it's your job then still to figure out, is this the best you can have and is it correct? So the safeguards here are very challenging. A second perspective is, how could agentic AI change the experience of people using your services as an enterprise, services you provide? I think it makes it more versatile and hopefully more enjoyable.